Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sports World Redux. I love our intercom system here at Young Broadcasters of America. Anyway, I'm here with Phil Castanetti and Dave Shaw. Phil's from Sports World up on Route 1 in Saugus. It is the largest sports memorabilia store in New England. And Phil, we're coming into that holiday season. I don't know how quickly we got here. I just can't believe it, actually. Christmas is like 6 weeks away.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And this is a good season for you. What are we going to see in your store for good items and for that special sports fan?
You know what? I mean, the inventory changes daily, so I mean, we keep right up to date on, any hot, plays or things that might happen during a Bruins game or a Patriots game. So, the memorabilia is always changing, and from day to day, there's different things. But we have so many unique items that just make great holiday gifts. So, if anyone's out there and looking for something that, different and unique, you got to stop in.
Absolutely. And David, you spend time at the store too.
I'm always at the store. I just love, I'm a big fan of all sports right now. And it is, if you're going to buy a gift instead of buying a tie, I'd rather give an autographed picture of someone to my father or someone else and
Yep.
a little token like that.
Absolutely. In fact, when people ask me for my autograph, I always use the line, it's not even worth anything on a check. Why would you want it on something else? All right, let's go to a Skype call. We've got a Skype caller out there in Internet World. Go ahead, you're next on Sports World Redux with Phil, Dave, and Jimmy. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for having me on today.
Whoa. I know who that, look at that. That is cool, huh?
That
That's
is.
a video call. All right.
That's right, guys. This is Jeremy Lacey. I'm the president of CyberstationUSA.com, the world's largest online radio station, and strong supporter of YBA. And wanted to call in today because I heard you guys were talking about sports memorabilia, something that's very topical and very high importance to myself. So I thought I'd give you all a call and just sort of ask you sort of a question, make a comment if that's cool.
It is cool, but look at the camera, Jeremy. There
All right,
you go.
there we go.
There you go. Now I'll ask you a question.
How's it going?
Good.
Well, back in, we all know the Boston Red Sox back in 2007 and the great successes that they had. And I was working for another company at the time, particularly with the Red Sox radio network, and actually had the privilege of getting to be in the parade and whatnot with some of the players afterwards, after the the big game here in the city. And I actually was given a jacket, and Big Papi actually signed it. It was his personal, top-tier game Red Sox jacket, which has been sort of my prized possession. Prior to that, I grew up with my grandfather having given me a signed Lou Gehrig baseball, and I've had that baseball on my desk for God knows how long. And I just wanted to ask you, I'm in sort of borderline middle age of my life, and obviously kids out there and people that are coming into your stores and people that you're interacting with, fans of all ages. What do you sort of see that's sentimental in memorabilia? What are people looking for that just really has that meaning for them outside of just that special player in whatever sport it might be? For me, I'm a lifelong Red Sox fan, so I collect things Red Sox, but what do you see as sort of a generalized trend for what people like to collect out there right now?
I tell people pretty much that, go back to when they were a kid, their first game with their parents, something like that, and, that era when they were young and bring back those memories. And, a lot of people do that, say if their 40th or 50th birthday, they'll buy a program from the year they were born, or the year they first went to a game, and that's kind of neat, and that kind of, gets them collecting it a little bit more than that too.
What's his Lou Gehrig baseball ballpark? I know it's tough to
Sight
tell.
unseen.
Right, I know.
I
but
mean, it could be $10,000 to $30,000.
wow, there you go, Jeremy. So gives you an idea. You might want to save it though, because these things do go up in value as time moves on. And I'm going on a limb thinking Gehrig's not going to be signing anytime soon, right?
No, he's not.
Nope. It was a small world, actually. He actually, when I ended up going to college, it turned out that he'd been a member of my fraternity, and that made it even more special to me over the years. But my grandfather had actually gotten it. That was my father's first baseball game that he had ever been to as a little kid. And they got the ball, and somehow my grandfather was smart, and he didn't let my dad throw it around. He actually back then. I forget what they put it in, but now it sits and sort of encased in a little plastic box with a little base and hopefully protected from the elements or anything else. But it's fun to look at and just see the nostalgia. And I've had the privilege also of working with a couple of folks who are close with Louis Tianti, and he's actually someone that I've been looking to see if I can find a ball from him, or at least a card that might be signed. What would those run?
You got a bunch of those.
Yeah, Louis is a good friend, and
Yeah.
we do a lot of work with Louis, and we sell baseballs for $39. You know, a card $10, $15, but anything you want, we could. And Louis is very good
He's
like
a
that.
great guy too.
He is great.
And some of my great memories. The '75 World Series was one of my favorite times. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, I was sorry, I didn't interrupt. I was going to say, is he still sort of hot ticket? I mean, he was such a legend here in Boston.
You know,
do people
he
still
really
come
is.
in and
I mean,
ask for things from him?
They do because, you know, he was so popular, especially during the World Series in '75, and you know, he pitched that one game 187 pitches or something crazy, and then went out again the next start and pitched like 150 pitches. So, you know, people just don't do that anymore, and he's, you know, he's always been around the area and stayed pretty popular.
Yep, and he went to the Dick Radich School of Pitching, which is basically the more you pitch, the stronger your arm is.
Right.
It's funny that Daisuke Matsuzaka is in that same school, but he gets abuse for it in this town because he's just not into the Red Sox way of doing things. I just thought
You know
throw
what? That pitch
there.
count's the worst thing in baseball ever.
I don't get
I
it.
just disagreed so much with that. It makes no sense to me.
And I don't know how they're going to undo what's already been part of this
You
game.
can't. I mean, the changes that have been made are not for the good of the game, as far as I'm concerned. And you know, it's never going to be like it was when we were growing up.
No, absolutely not. Well, Jeremy, hey, thanks a lot for checking in, and we look forward to working with CyberStation USA as soon as possible. How's that?
Working on it now. Working on the streams as we speak. So
Terrific.
hopefully we can get you guys up on the air and get you guys a few million more listeners tuning in to these shows. All right.
I'll take a few hundred more listeners. How's that? All right. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Aim high, my friend. You guys have a great rest of the show. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. And guys, that's the future right there. We're going to take video calls, and we'll take them from all over the place. And the more people that know about what we're doing, that's what's going to be a lot of fun.
It's amazing how the technology is now, huh?
Absolutely. And, you know, the internet and the television industries are molding, and it's going to be amazing to watch how this whole thing unfurls and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we saw at Bibb's house, his favorite item was that piece of the left field wall. I think it was actually, it's the lower wall. You remember when they got rid of all the lower wall after
Yep.
Freddie Lynn crashed and all that? You have pieces of the wall as well. You have pieces of the net. You have pieces of the pesky pole. I mean, is there a piece of Fenway that you don't have?
There probably isn't. I have right field, center field, left field. I have the roll-up grate.
Now, they were selling turf a couple of years ago. What was up with that?
I have a piece of Yankee turf in my yard.
Yankee turf.
I do.
Is there a difference between Yankee turf and Red Sox turf?
Probably not.
All right. And so, again, unique items, one-of-a-kind items always seem to stand out. And kind of what Jeremy was talking about, that what's special to you or to you or to you may be different than anybody else, and that's what makes it so special. And you could come to your store, and I could spend hours there. It's like going to a museum and picking out one thing. Hey, I was at that game. Oh, I love Rico Petrocelli. Or, oh, Bill Lee, man, he was the best. You know, all that stuff. And even the most obscure names. I love going through the $5 rack of pictures and seeing some of the most obscure Red Sox names in history.
You know, it's funny, this week alone, we sold baseballs of Tom Bolton, Damon Buford,
Oh, goodness gracious.
Paxton Crawford.
Paxton Crawford, yeah.
There was like 5 baseballs.
Was he the one that got the glass in the back? Didn't he fall out of bed and have a glass stab him in the back?
Supposedly, yeah.
It's a great story.
And he was off to a real good start. He was like 5-0 in his rookie season, and never panned out.
That's right. Who else? Come on, those are great names.
Business shop.
Business shop, yeah.
Business shop right there.
Yeah. I love that Celtics piece.
That's a great piece. That's a nicer piece right there, the 500 home run
Yeah,
hitters.
Bibbs has one of those too.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, it's funny. Now that you know, would you be interested in an introduction and go see what he's got?
Absolutely. I'm always looking for
Yeah.
unique stuff like that, even just to look at. And
Right. Oh, he said that his collection took a little bit of a hit too because he's got kids in college.
yeah.
which is amazing. That these guys have collected for years now.
Yeah.
Realize $50,000 a year in college, you got to do something.
Right, and you know what? And now is not a good time to sell it either.
No.
You know,
No.
5 years ago he could have got, you know, decent money. Now it's
Double.
tough.
Everything was double 5
Yeah.
years ago, basically, when you get right down
It's
to
like the stock market. It rises and falls.
it. Right. Very cool. All right. Well, I only think we don't have that much more time left in the program, and you know we have this great intercom system. They usually just kind of yell it out how much time I have. But that's
There you
okay.
go.
There we go. I really want to thank David for joining us out here on a Thursday afternoon. We're on the internet. You never know who's going to watch. More importantly, this will live online, on demand. We're going to cut it up. We're going to distribute it on YouTube. And, you know, Phil, I'd love to make this a regular thing because I have always enjoyed your company.
You got to get closer to Saugus, though.
Well, we'll talk about that.
All right, we'll
We'll
meet
talk-
halfway.
We could also do a live shot from your studio,
That'll
from
work.
your store sometime,
Absolutely.
which would be, you know, one of those Skype calls. Nothing wrong with that. And David, again, I really appreciate it. It's been nice to get to know you over the last couple of weeks.
My pleasure, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. All right, so that's really going to do it. I want to thank Stephanie Lewis, Derek Gorman, Zach Washington, producer Ed O'Leary, and of course Barbara Goodman back there. So for Phil Castanetti and David Shaw, I'm Jimmy Young from YBA. We'll see you next time on Sports World Redux.